Every time we start off with a song, I swear that's how we've done it.
As it should be.
That's what it should be.
When the actual intro just rolls through, we're just singing.
We know how to bond. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to FanCastit. I am your co-host, Sean.
I am your co-host, Marc. And today we're going to be talking about 10 recent movie flops that could have been saved with a better director.
There's been a lot of movie flops recently, especially during the summer and the winter seasons, and we're just gonna comb over them like they don't exist because we think directors could have at least made a bit of a difference.
Made a bit of an effort. What constitutes as a flop is something that was either a critical or financial failure.
Let's start off with
Justice League, aka Dawn of Justice, aka Superman Returns, aka Justice League. Justice League was directed by Zack Snyder and then also directed by Joss Whedon and then also directed by Zack Snyder. I think that it fell short in a lot of different places and that we won't get into because, trust me, I think I have a whole other video on that.
Most Snyder movies do.
I think that it definitely could have done with some fixing up. The directors that I chose to do the job are Chad Stahelski. Let's try that again. Chad Stahelski. Chad Stahelski and David Leitch were the directors of John Wick Chapter 1 and John Wick Chapter 2. They're obviously talented directors, especially when it comes to action sequences. They're great at putting people together, and I think that they would be able to do serious damage with the characters that we were given on screen.
All right, I had the Wachowskis. They've done the Matrix series. They've also done the Sense8 and Jupiter Ascending.
Cloud Atlas.
And Cloud Atlas. Why I recently picked the Wachowskis is basically for their action cinematography. They seem to be really, really good, especially with the Matrix Reloaded action scenes where it was Neo versus 100 Smiths. I could see that being Superman versus everyone. We both know the Justice League plot was a little lacking, and a lot of the action scenes that were filmed weren't that good. Moving on, Solo.
A Star Wars story. All right, so this was directed by Ron Howard, and it was picked up after Chris Lord and Phil Miller had dropped out.
Literally anyone.
Literally anyone.
Okay.
I chose somebody who I thought would have a very interesting visual flair. Denis Villeneuve. I'm definitely saying that wrong. All right, so Denis V, man. Denis V is a absolutely ridiculously phenomenal director who's had his hand in obviously Sicario, Blade Runner 2049, Prisoners. He has a very strong visual storytelling style, and all of his stories, even though they're large scale, always tend to seem very character driven, very focused. And I think that it would be dope if we had a solo movie that was kind of shot like a Western in space with somebody who actually knew what to do with the camera.
I went with Steven Spielberg. I like the classic take on old movies, especially with the Star Wars movies. I feel he could have a good hand in this, especially with just Han Solo's presence in some of the scenes, like for clothing, for sure, for just different ideas to bounce off of. I feel like Steven Spielberg would be the best person to do camera angles for the Millennium Falcon as well.
With that, yeah.
With space scenes. I'm not going to sit here and say Solo would have been saved by Steven Spielberg because
literally the title of the video.
There's just some flops you can't save. Solo was a defective flop.
All right. Ocean's 8. Now, obviously, this movie was not a financial problem, but a lot of people did feel it was lacking. I actually really like this movie.
It was only lacking because it was a female film and it had already been done twice.
I actually disagree. I definitely think that there was room for improvement with the cast that we were given. I thought the cast worked really well with each other, but I think a lack of visual flair from a particular director definitely lit it by the wayside. It was directed by Gary Ross, and I definitely think that somebody else could have done something with it that would have made it feel special.
Really?
I'm going with the person who actually directed the original Oceans series, and that is Steven Soderbergh. He obviously has his own personal way of telling the story, a way that was actually even tried to copy in Oceans 8 in a lot of ways, but just kind of fell flat. I would love to see what he can do with these women. He's very good with directing women.
I picked Edgar Wright. Now, Edgar Wright had recently done... Baby Driver was a good heist movie.
Yeah.
I was talking to you about this. When I felt what I wanted out of Ocean's 8 was the women performing the heist at the casino, but while they're doing it, they had like awesome music and like different scenes cutting from them.
Yeah, nobody does transitions like Edgar Wright.
Exactly. Yeah. So what I wanted to see was basically that, and I feel like Edgar Wright would take the Ocean's 8 series in a good direction.
I can't even hate you for that one. All right, Jurassic World. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
I chose Peter Jackson. Nobody deals with sci-fi giants better than Peter Jackson. Michael Bay is a shit director, and he deals with sci-fi giants, but Peter Jackson has done masterpieces, The Lord of the Rings being one of them.
Okay.
What I feel he could do with the project is make dinosaurs seem larger than life. As they've been depicted right now, it's like they're just random creatures that you'd see in like everyday movie.
Okay.
That's what I felt like walking into Jurassic World. I feel like he could have fixed up the lighting, the camera angles for sure, because some of them were just not good. And I feel like he could have had a little bit more push within the story.
Definitely would have taken longer to film it.
It would have taken longer, but it would have come out with a greater product.
I chose Gareth Edwards. So not somebody as big as Peter Jackson, but in terms of directing, Gareth Edwards definitely knows scale. He directed Godzilla 2013, in which one of the biggest sells of that movie was his ability to show what Godzilla would look like in a city next to a skyrise, and you felt every stomp from Godzilla in the movie, whether you like the movie or not. He also directed Rogue One, and one of my favorite things about Rogue One was really the way they shot the Death Star over the planets. It looked terrifying in a way that we've never seen the Death Star look before. And
Darth Vader looked terrifying.
Darth Vader looked terrifying in a way that we've never looked before.
When I saw Anakin Skywalker walk through that door, I was like, oh shit, you're all dead.
Like, I want you to have the same amount of fear for a T-Rex that you would for a Brontosaurus.
So, like my point earlier, the dinosaurs seem too...
They seem a little too...
casual.
Like... This is a zoo. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But anyway, I think those are both great picks in their own rights.
Right.
Moving on.
I agree with your choice. Superfly.
Superfly.
You know about this movie more than I do because I've seen bits and pieces. I would pick Quentin Tarantino only because I require more blood and gore. And for anybody that's watched a Quentin Tarantino film, that man is all about blood and gore.
And the N-word.
And the N-word. And swearing.
Necessary.
He also likes to put himself in his own movies.
He does do that.
I would love to see Quentin Tarantino in Superfly.
Like that. All right. Well, he would also shoot it all on 35mm lens, and it would be...
Exactly.
I chose F. Gary Gray, not only for his job directing Straight Outta Compton, which was, I think everybody can say is hands down a dope movie, but also Fast and Furious 7, which I am not a fan of, but a lot of people are. And one thing that I think I can take away from that movie franchise and the movie itself is that when you're doing a movie like Superfly, you know, money, power, respect, bitches, hoes, all that, you need somebody who can show the excess but not make it look too glamorous. You also want somebody who is able to direct new time actors alongside people who are a little more in the spotlight, you know, and mix them with veteran actors. And I think F. Gary Gray does that very well.
All right. Tomb Raider.
The new one, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Edward
What did he do?
He did Blood Diamond. So Edward Zwick, who did some great shots in the jungle, should definitely have shot this movie. I feel like he could have taken Lara Croft in a new direction.
Yeah.
I feel like he would have added to the bruises that she obtained in that movie. I feel like he would have wanted the actress to go through as many stunts as she possibly could have.
Yeah.
Even though she wouldn't have. Edward Zwick, because just amazing visuals.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I chose Wolfgang Peterson, and he was the guy who directed Troy. I know it was a long time ago, but it was a really good movie, and not only was he able to show scale and take us on a journey to lands that we haven't seen before or that seem prehistoric, but he is also somebody who is almost crazily dedicated to his vision. You know, like, he had the entire Trojan castle and walls built in Mexico, had it destroyed in a hurricane, and then built it back up again. Like, he's a crazy person, and I'd love to see his take on a Lara Croft movie.
Let's talk about Pacific Rim 2.
Let's not.
That movie was crap. Not even gonna get into it. I picked M. Night Shyamalan, the guy who's done Sixth Sense, Split,
The Happening.
I pick him just because his movies are all centered around being weird and close-up face shots. I don't think any director could save it. Not even
God.
I don't
He's
care.
just like, give it to M. Night. Let him do a thing.
I was like,
cast Mark Wahlberg.
let's just M. Night Shyamalan could make that movie so much weirder, and he could shoot it so much better than whoever shot it.
I chose the Duffer Brothers, who were responsible for the creation, direction, and showrunning of Stranger Things. I think that if anybody can take a concept like that, if somebody can take a Guillermo del Toro concept and make something of it, I really think that the Duffer Brothers could probably do something with it. Just lean into the camp, man. Just throw in some synth pop background score and big old monsters and cast children, because why do I want to see a bunch
The
of grown men
movie was
fighting?
so bad, I wanted everybody in a robot suit to know. That's how bad it was.
Don't do that to John Boy. So this is the one that all of y'all have been waiting for. This is the one, the
50.
number one movie that definitely was a flop that could have been saved
Shades.
by another director.
Free.
50 Shades Free. Oh yeah.
Can you stop? Like, no.
Who you got?
Oh god. I literally put on the board anyone. I'm not shitting you. My co-host can verify I put anyone. This movie is not for viewing. This movie is for putting under your table to balance it out. That is what I would rank this movie as. I picked anyone / Ron Howard. Ron Howard is my go-to director for crap.
He was also Disney's go-to director for crap, so that's fair. Okay, so I chose Steven Soderbergh again, because I think that the best thing about Steven Soderbergh in a thing like this is that he would 100% positively ignore the entire book and script and just do his own thing.
You know who could have saved it?
Who?
The guy who did Titanic.
Oh, James Cameron would do
Yeah.
the shit out of that. Oh my god. Just have the entire thing shot in an underground bunker underwater. It takes 100 days to film it.
Just have them all sink and just kill every character off like the Macbeth, and we're done.
And that's our list.
That was the top 9 recent flops that could have been saved by a better director.
All right. Let us know what you think in the comment sections. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you Team Sean? Are you Team Mark? Let us know. We love you. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you later. Bye.